bookish friends, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Ashton and I love all things books. And I have a bit of a book buying problem that has spanned over many years. I tried really hard last year to put myself on a book buying ban. Did relatively okay. I think I only broke the ban twice. Thought, yep, I'm going to do the same for this year. I'm going to put myself on a ban. TBR is a lot. We need to get it down. I have not stuck to that, which is evident from the piles that I actually have around me. So I'm here to do a book haul. I'm here to do a haul for all the books that I have bought so far in 2025. And there's a lot of books to get through, so I'm not gonna jibber jabber. I'm just gonna get straight into it. So at the start of the year, I had a couple of vouchers obviously left over for from Christmas for Foyles, the bookshop. So what I treated myself to, and this was going to be the only books that I bought for the year, but it kind of didn't count because they were a gift. So I got myself The Map Makers by Tamsin Merchant, and The Troublemakers by Tamsin Merchant. This is book 2 and book 3 in the Cordelia Hatmaker trilogy. As you can see, I'm in the middle of, well, I've started The Map Makers. But I got myself those two to complete that trilogy. Then I got myself Mina and the Slayers by Amy McCall and Mina and the Cult to complete this YA trilogy as well. Mina and the Undead is the first one. I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to get my hands on these two so that I could read them. I have not read them yet, but I am saving them for October time. So those 4 books were from Foyles, and then I didn't buy anything for a few months, and I'm quite proud of myself for that. Then I ended up getting some books from Amazon. So I got myself, because it was on offer, The Book Lover's Retreat by Heidi Swain. Now, this one I'd already read. I read this, I think it was in 2023 or 24, can't remember. Really loved it, and I think I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars, which is why I wanted a copy of it. So this wasn't added to the TBR, but I wanted a copy, so I bought it for myself. Then I got myself Kilted Lovers by Megan Clawson. This was her new release. I read Falling Hard for the Royal Guard and Love at First Night. I read both of those early on this year, and I really enjoyed her writing, so I was like, this is her new one, I want it. Not too long, and hopefully I'm going to get to this one soon. Again, this one I picked up. I absolutely love Ali McNamara's writing. I own quite a lot of her books. I've only got a couple that I don't actually have that I need to get my hands on, and these were 2 of them. So I picked up Kate and Clara's Curious Cornish Craft Shop and A Secret Cornish Wish, and they were relatively cheap on Amazon. That was why I chose them. Then I had a voucher for my birthday, so I decided to treat myself, and I got book 4 and book 5 in the Psychic Surveys series that is by Shani Struthers. I'll show you the first one. This is Old Cross Cottage. So I've read the first 3 a couple of years ago. I've got them on my shelves. Really loved them. Didn't realise that she'd continued the series. And the 5th book is called Dissension. Oh, excuse me. Dissension. That's book 5. And I'm really looking forward to continuing on this series. So I got those 2 for myself. Then I picked up Blood Moon Sanctum, A Curse of Obsidian and Silver, book 1 by Zian Schaefer. Now, I picked this one up because Gina spoke about it on her channel, and she said it was fantastic. And I am looking forward to it, but I don't see, this is book 1, and I don't see any sign of book 2 coming out. So I really hope there's going to be a book 2, because I'm going to be really disappointed if I read book 1 and then there's nothing. But she did say it was fantastic, so I thought I would give it a go. And then I've also picked myself up When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I already had Practice Makes Perfect, so I wanted to complete the set, but obviously I needed this one because this is the first in the series. I have since read this and I absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. So that's what I got. That was my little haul from Amazon. I think that was, I'm not quite 100% when I kind of got most of these. I think it was like April, May for those ones. Then I also picked up, well, not picked up, but I'm actually friends with the author for the Shani Struthers on Facebook, the Psychic Survey series. And really excitingly, she's brought out a new series, and this is fantasy. And it's something that she hasn't normally done. Most of her stuff is usually paranormal focused. And this is Morgan the Fae, book 1, and it's got Morgan, woman, witch, goddess. And this just sounds so good. So good. And I've seen a lot of people raving about it. And she was obviously promoting it, and I ordered one directly from her, and she kindly signed it for me, which I was really pleased with. So I am excited to also get to that one. And then obviously I think books 2 and 3, I don't know if they're already out now or if they're coming out, but looking forward to that. And then this is just a little side note one, because I picked this up in the charity shop, and it is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Look at that little brick. But I picked it up and then didn't realise that actually in this series, this is book 2. Angels and Demons is the first book in the series. So I actually need to read Angels and Demons first before I can then pick this one up. Then I ordered, I think I've done 2 orders from the works so far this year. And I think, let me just, okay, so I got myself Hot Hex Boyfriend by Carly Bloom. This again just looks like another cute little kind of witchy rom-com. I love those around October time, so I thought, why not? Let's add that to the TBR. Then I got myself Casket Case by Laura Evans. This is, again, this is damaged. That's so annoying. I didn't even realise how damaged this was. Oh, guys, that's so bad. Look at that. I hate that. But to be honest, this is probably one of those books that it's going to be kind of like a cute little fluffy read, and then I'm going to read it and unhaul it, so I'm not that mad. But he's almost perfect, but he works for death. That's the tagline that got me. So I got that one. Then I got myself Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams, which is book 3 in the When in Rome series. As I said, I already had the second one, so I've now got all 3, so I can read all 3, and the 4th one I believe is coming out at the end of this year. When I was actually physically passing in the works one day, I picked myself up The Puppet Master by Sam Holland. I have book 1 in this series, and I picked this up not realising this was book 3, I think. So I've got to get book 2 in between, but I still haven't read book 1. Then I also ordered myself Princess of Thieves, which is a twisted tale, one of the Disney twisted tales. This one is by Mari Mancusi. And this is kind of like a Robin Hood retelling or twisted version. It said, what if Maid Marian was the real outlaw? I've got a couple of them left to go, so I was like, yep, it's a new one, why not? I then got myself Training the Heart by Paisley Hope. This is book 2 in this series. I actually don't remember what this series is called. Silver Pines, that's what it's called. So again, I have Holding the Reins, which is book 1. Haven't read it, but picked myself up book 2 because it's the works and it was a good deal. And I didn't realise I actually ordered the sprayed edge version. I thought I was just ordering the normal version, but it came like that. And then I also got myself Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. I got myself this. I'd already read it. I read pretty much, I think I read I read the first 2 and then physically, and then the final 2, Lost and Lassoed, and then Wild and Wrangled, I read on Kindle Unlimited, but I bought them for myself. Let me actually pick that one up. Typically it's at the bottom. So I picked myself up Lost and Lassoed and then Wild and Wrangled so that I could complete my set. I really, really enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun. And I then picked myself up a copy of The Mysterious Bakery on Rue de Paris by Evie Woods. This is her latest one for this year. I adore Evie Woods' writing and her stories. This was another one that I absolutely devoured and I gave it 5 stars. So I wanted a copy for myself. And then I also got myself, so as you get, some of these books I'm buying them but I've already read them, so it's not terrible, right? I got myself also a sprayed edge copy of The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I really enjoyed this one. Did this on audio, another one that I gave 5 stars, so I wanted a copy of it for myself. And then this is a more recent order, so I got myself Nightshade by Autumn Woods. He's her enemy, she's his everything. This is book 1 in the Sorrow Song University. I saw everybody going crazy about it and I got FOMO and I decided, why not? I'm gonna get it. And then I also picked up book 2 of this one because it was on offer in the works. But I'll quickly show you because it makes more sense. I'd picked up Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber, which is book 1. My husband got me this when we was in our little local independent bookshop. So he got me that. So I picked up Cursed Crowns, which I believe is book 2 in that same series. I haven't read book 1 obviously, so I don't even know if I'm gonna like it, but I think I am because I liked Catherine Doyle's writing. So yeah, so picked that one. That was the last one I got from the works, so that was my little stack from the works. And then while I've already done this one, I might as well do the rest from the independent bookshop. So again, these were all around sort of my birthday time. My daughter kindly bought me Legendborn and Bloodmarked, which is book 1 and 2 in the Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. I do believe the 3rd book is now out, but not in paperback yet. Again, I haven't started. I don't actually know how many books that series is going to be. I don't know if it's like 5 or something like that. And then I picked up for myself from the independent bookshop Anatomy, a Love Story, and Immortality, a Love Story by Sana Schwartz. I've heard some really good things about this little duology. I think Rachel Catherine read them. She really enjoyed them. And they're just kind of giving gothic. I mean, they're set in, yeah, like 1817 and 1818. And I love Victorian. I love gothic, anything like that. So yeah, picked those ones up for myself. Then I think next what I'll do is I'll go through my Waterstones pile, because it's probably one of the bigger piles, because I've just kind of been popping in and out of Waterstones kind of over the last couple of months and just kind of been picking little bits up here and there. Towards the beginning of the year, I did treat myself to Heavenly Bodies by Imani Erui. I think that's how you say it. I'm not quite sure. This is book 1. Loved this, devoured it, 5 stars. Cannot wait for the the rest of the series to finally come out. I also picked myself up a copy of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I read, I think I read like most of it physically, some on Kindle Unlimited, and then I read the second one completely on Kindle Unlimited, but I wanted copies of them because I absolutely devoured them, both 5 stars. Then I picked up, on one occasion I picked up Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, and then on a later occasion I picked up Enchantra, which is book 2, and this little duology, but I got them from different Waterstones, and I didn't realise when I picked it up that this one is like black sprayed edge and this one is not. But I know that would really bother some people, but it just doesn't bother me. So got those ones. Then on another trip, I picked myself up, and again, this was around my birthday. I had a bit of birthday money to spend. I got Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is a standalone fantasy, and again, I saw Gina raving about this, so it made me really want to pick it up. So I got that one. Still haven't read it. I also picked up Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft. Again, I saw someone absolutely raving about it, and it's a Disney story, and we're following the Queen of Pixie Hollow and the Lord of the Winter Woods. So I reckon that's going to be right up my street. Then I got First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I am yet to read a B.K. Borison book. I do have Love Like Farms on my TBR, but I never got round to reading it last Christmas. So hopefully I can get that done this Christmas. But I've heard some mixed things about this one. Some people seem to really love it, and other people kind of thought it was just kind of okay. So I'm intrigued to see how I feel about her writing. Then I picked up Funny Story by Emily Henry. I read Book Lovers and Happy Place. I think I read them last year. Yeah, I think I read them last year. So I picked myself up this one. Because it's this one and Great Big Beautiful Life are the only 2 that I think I haven't read. Then I got Deja Dead by Kathy Rakes. This is book 1 in the Temperance Brennan series, which is what inspired the TV series Bones, and I absolutely adore Bones. So I thought, yeah, let's do that while we were there. It's got quite a nice flop to it. We love a flop. Haven't read that. I also picked up The Blackbird Oracle by Deborah Harkness because it finally came out in paperback. This is book 5 in the All Souls series. The Discovery of Witches series the trilogy was the original. And this is the only one I have left to read. I also picked myself up The Fellowship of Puzzle Makers by Samuel Burr. This one just kind of caught my eye. It's got some sort of secret society, puzzles, kind of very cozy mystery. That was the vibe it was given. This is the line that got me. It says, Clayton Stumper is an enigma. He might be 25 years old, but he dresses like your granddad and drinks sherry like your aunt. And that made me giggle a little bit. So I was like, yep, I'm going to get that one. Then I picked up The Wycherleys by Annalise Avery. For the kingdom, for the magic, and for love. It just ticked all the boxes for me. It looked good. I read the back. I was like, yeah, that sounds right up my street. And it was just, look, this sprayed edge is just lovely. So helped myself to that one. And then my husband recently bought me The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is book 1 in the Gods and Monsters series. And then also, sorry, there's a sticker on here and it's going to bug me. I also picked this one up because it says Sisterhood, Seances, and a Murder to Solve. sorry, but is that not me all over? It says this, The Society of Free Spirits, and it's called A Grave Inheritance by Felicity Epps. Again, sprayed edge, I didn't even notice that. You are cordially invited to the seance of Miss Edith Rain. This one looked really good, nice and short, so I picked that one up. And then yesterday I was out book shopping. I was up at the big massive Waterstones in Piccadilly and I treated myself to The Dark by Sharon Bolton. This is the fifth and final book in the Lacey Flint series. I didn't even realise this was a thing until this existed, until sort of like, I think it was beginning of this year, maybe end of last year. I thought I'd finished that series, there was no more, but lo and behold, there was this one. So we all know I love Sharon Bolton. I've loved this series, love Lacey Flint as a character, so I'm excited to get to that one. And then I also picked up book one in the Bride of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes. I saw Emmy talking about this little I think it's a trilogy, and it made me want to pick it up. It says, the shunned princess, a reluctant king, a marriage that could save both their kingdoms but destroy their hearts. So that sounded interesting. I wanted to pick that one up. Then let me do this little stack that I picked up from Forbidden Planet. Now, 3 of these I got yesterday, but this one I got a couple of months back, or a month or so ago when it first came out. I don't remember. But it was there early. Like, Forbidden Planet had it like a day or two before it even came out. So it's The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which is the new one. This is book 1 in her new series, which is... what is this one called? I don't remember now. Oh, it's going to bug me. What is it called? The Stonewater Kingdom, that's it. So I picked that one up when it came out. I was in Forbidden Planet for my daughter. I saw that one and thought, yep, that's coming home with me. And then yesterday while I was there, I picked up Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. This is book 3 in that kind of Assistant to the Villain series. I read the first one last year, absolutely loved it. Haven't read the second one because I want to reread 1, 2, and I was waiting for 3 to come out. I am going to reread and do all 3, but I think I'm pretty sure I've seen that there's going to be a 4th one, maybe even a 5th one. I don't know. So I'm intrigued to see how she can keep it going but still keep it interesting. Then I picked up We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This is one of the I've only got, what have I got, this one and The Final Girl Support Group. I think they're the only 2 Grady Hendrix that I have not read, so I picked this one up because I just love Grady Hendrix writing. And then finally, I have already read it but I didn't own a copy, and that is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I just love it. I gave this 5 stars. This was brilliant, and I wanted a copy of it so that I can put all my Grady Hendrix together on my shelves. And then the final stack, sorry, no, that's a lie, I've got 2 stacks. Let's go for this little stack. These ones were gifted to me by my mum. So I've got The Queen's Rising and The Queen's Resistance by Rebecca Ross. Passion, Rebellion, Survival, Love, Pride, Vengeance. I just love her writing style. I think she writes absolutely beautiful, lyrical, whimsical, just gorgeous writing. I loved the Letters of Enchantment Duology, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. They were both 5 stars for me. I have recently done the audiobooks of A River Endless, and I'm now doing A Fire Endless, which is the Elements of Cadence duology. That one, again, I'm enjoying that one so far, so I'm excited to get to these two to see how I feel about those. And then my mum also picked me up Fate Be Changed, which is another Disney twisted tale. This one is by Farah Rochon, I think that's how you say it. And this one is a brave twisted tale. So it says, what if the witch gave Merida a different spell? These are quite chunky, but the writing's quite big, and I think you do sort of get through them quite quickly. So that's another one of those that I need to get through. And then recently, while we were out and we were in Sainsbury's, I didn't even know this was coming out. But this was, sorry, there's another sticker. This was Ali McNamara's new release. And this one is called Right Place, Right Time. Just love that cover. Could this be the moment they've both been waiting for? We know I love Ali's writing, so this sounded really good to me, and my mum picked it up for me. So those were gifted. And then finally, I placed an order a couple of months back on World of Books, and I was actually quite impressed by the service that I got and the condition that most of the books came in. So I picked myself up the 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've heard phenomenal things about this. I read The Dead Romantics earlier on in the year. 5 stars, absolutely loved it. That was my first Ashley Poston, so I'm looking forward to reading this one and then getting through some of her other books. So I picked myself up that one. I then got A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, which is book 1, because I owned book 2 and I didn't realise that there was a book 1, basically. So once I did, I picked this one up. This one's by Sarah Hawley. And I think there's 3 out currently in this little series. So I've now got 1 and 2. I then picked myself up. These are obviously, some of these are kind of well-loved books, but the condition is really not that bad for the price that they were. I picked myself up Happy Place by Emily Henry. I obviously had read it, but I read this as an ebook. So I got it because it was 5 stars. I loved it and I wanted to put it with book lovers. And then obviously I showed you I've got Funny Story. I have read Beach Read and You and Me on Vacation. I did both of those by audiobooks. 4.5 star for Beach Read and a 4 star for You and Me on Vacation. That's probably my least favourite. I don't really know. I might buy them. I might buy copies of them at a later date. Not really 100%. I kind of would maybe just keep the ones that I really rate 5 stars. But let's see. Then I got myself Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Again, a little bit grubby in places, but, you know, not bad for the price that it was. Then I picked myself up Evil Thing and Cold Hearted. These are part of the Villain series by, oh, what is her name? Serena Valentino. And I've got most of the others. These are the 2 that I had missing, and then I think there's 2 more that have come out that I need to get my hands on, but they changed the covers. Why do they do that? It's so annoying. Publishers, please stop doing it. It's just ridiculous. So I got myself those so that I could continue with that series. Then I picked myself up a copy of The Story Collector by Evie Woods. Again, I did this on audio, gave this 5 stars, absolutely fantastic, but I wanted a copy of it. So that one was in quite good condition. Now these ones were used, and you can really see that they're used, especially this one. Like, you can kind of see, look, how kind of, and the spines are really sort of well worn. But I didn't mind, because these books are like on Amazon, they're like £9, £12, like, you know, it's a lot, but I really like Jamie Adman's writing and I want to read more from her. everything I've given her, everything I've read of her so far has been 5 stars and 1 4.5. So I picked myself up The Little Bookshop of Love Stories. Cute. The Postbox at the North Pole. And The Little Christmas Shop on Nutcracker Lane. So a couple of 2 little Christmassy ones there to add to my Christmas list. So I picked myself up those ones. And then I also got myself, again, these are all kind of, they're not bad condition, but you can tell they're a little bit more well loved. But these are all Trisha Ashley, because I'm trying to complete my collection of her books, and some of these are hard to get now because I think they're like not in print anymore. But we have Good Husband Material by Trisha Ashley. That one's a bit of a chunker. We have The Little Tea Shop of Lost and Found. That one's in a little bit better condition. I've got to take the stickers off, ignore those. Creature Comforts. Again, this one is quite a worn, coloured, but I don't mind. Every Woman for Herself. This is the only one out of these that I have read. Then we have Written from the Heart. Again, just a little bit grubby in places, but not too bad. And finally, Sewing Secrets. So, those are all the books that I have bought or been gifted. I'm really sorry if you can hear shouting. I'm sure my neighbours, I'm sure they know every time that I've sat down to start filming. I say this in every single video. I live in a flat. The neighbours are noisy. I'm very sorry, guys. That's everything that I've bought or I've been gifted so far this year. I really do not need to buy any more books. I need to kind of really focus on my TBR. I think the only reason my TBR hasn't gone crazily, because this is a lot of books. I think it's like over 70 books. I think it's 71, but obviously there's probably at least, I didn't count, but maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like five maybe, or under, that we bought that haven't gone on the TBR because I'd already read them. But I think the reason my TBR hasn't gone crazily too high is because I have still managed to read, I think, like almost 30 books off my TBR so far this year, and I've unhauled a very big chunk of my TBR as well. But yeah, I think my TBR is probably sitting in about the 270, 280, which is kind of back where we were, really. So I've really got to crack on and get that down, and I think I have to put myself back on a book buying ban until the end of the year, maybe even longer. But let's see if I can manage to get my TBR down before the end of the year. Let me know in the comments, have you read any of these? Should I prioritise them? And tell me I'm not alone in this, guys. Let me know that you guys also have these book buying problems. Let me know that you're out there, my tribe, if you like. Comment, like, subscribe. You guys know what to do. That's it from me. And I will see you guys next time. So take care.